Hey guys, Marissa at KitchenTableStamper.com. This is this week's mystery card. Every other Thursday in the Kitchen Table Stamper Craft Social, we play Coffee and a Mystery Card. Wednesday, I give you a clue number one, some materials to gather, some paper to cut, and then the following day on Thursday, we get together, go through a series of clues, and I help you put together those materials you gathered into a mystery card. This is mine for this week. Hello, sunshine. Isn't that just so sweet? When I saw this pattern paper, this is from the Flowers for Every Season designer series paper, my daughter says to me, Mom, it's pink lemonade. And so I knew that I had to pair up the Flowers for Every Season designer series paper with the stamps from my Simply Citrus kit. So if you haven't seen this kit from Stampin' Up, it's new in the 2020-2022 annual catalog. And the Simply Citrus card kit is 5 card designs, and it makes 3 of each of the gorgeous cards. I love it. And then it includes a block, a Night of Navy stampin' pad, all the adhesive, embellishments, and card materials that you need to make the cards in this gorgeous little gift box. I knew from the moment I saw it I needed to have the kit, and partly because of the awesome stamp set. It's an exclusive set. You can only get it in the kit, and it will give you years of enjoyment after the kit is complete. So here's my card, and let's get started. Let me slide to the side and grab a Simply Scored tool, and we're gonna start with some So Saffron cardstock. This is 4 1/4 by 8, and we're gonna score this one at 1 1/4 and 6 3/4. Very weird size and score lines for a card base, isn't it? It's fun to sometimes just shake it up with something a little different, right? Okay, let's work those scores with a bone folder. All right, there's our card base. Unique, isn't it? All right, then I want to go ahead and line the inside of the card. So this is, I die cut this ahead of time. This is the largest rectangle, stitched rectangle. It's about 5 1/8 by 3 3/16. And I cut that using the stitched rectangle dies from Stampin' Up. Let's go ahead and adhere that to the inside of our card. I've got the new Stampin' Seal adhesive. I'm enjoying it. I actually like the Stampin' Seal Plus even more, but both are really good adhesives. They hold tight, but if you needed to, you can shift a little bit. I'm enjoying my new adhesives. They're brand new in the 2020-2022 catalog. All right, so we've got our little card base coming along here. Let's stamp a couple of bits. I've got some Bumblebee ink, Just Jade, and Poppy Parade. Simply Citrus stamp set is photopolymer. Got my Stampin' Pierce mat. You get a more crisp image when you stamp photopolymer stamps on the Stampin' Pierce mat. That little cushion behind the stamp really helps you get a great impression. We're gonna stamp off the edges of our card. So I'm gonna grab my little Stampin' Up grid paper here and protect the surface of my Stampin' Pierce mat. I've got the little lemon slice here, and we're gonna stamp that randomly on our background panel right here. I'm gonna start kind of off the top. Now this panel will be completely seen when the card is open. So we want to kind of fill the space. And we're just going to toggle between open and closed and stamp our falling lemon slices. All right, let's stamp the same on the other flap now, keeping in mind that the left edge is going to be visible underneath the flap. We're actually going to glue down the front of the card to this flap. So we're just going to keep that in mind when we're stamping. There's our adorable little lemon slices. Aren't they great? Now, I've got a scrap of So Saffron cardstock, and I'm going to stamp 2 of this full lemon. We'll set those aside to cut with scissors. Then I've got some mint macaron cardstock and Just Jade ink. We're going to get kind of a tone on tone look here. I love mint macaron and Just Jade. Get a very monochromatic look. I love it. 2 leaves, we'll set them aside. We're going to cut those with scissors. Then I've got a scrap of Whisper White cardstock here and the Hello Sunshine greeting from the Simply Citrus kit. Let's give that a practice. Make sure we got it inked up well. And then we're going to stamp that centered on a Whisper White scrap. Set it aside to dry. Ooh, beautiful. All right. I think that's all of our stamping. I'm going to clear away the Stampin' Pierce mat and the ink pads. I'm going to cut these guys out with paper snips, and I'm just going to cut them out so that there's a hair of a margin past the line. See? Just a little edge. And when I cut, if you hang around kitchen table stamper, you know I tell you make sure you support the scissor. So middle finger or ring finger goes into the loop, and your index finger or index and middle finger support the scissor. You open and close the scissor with your dominant hand, but you steer the paper with your non-dominant hand. You see that? That'll give you a smooth line when you fussy cut. All right, I'll cut these out, get rid of the ink pads, and we'll put this card together. Okay, I'm back. Let's go ahead and die cut our sentiment. I'm gonna bring the Big Shot in here. I'm cutting out the greeting with this long rectangle label. These are from the Tasteful label dies, brand new. Love this die set. We're gonna just pop out our greeting. So we'll center it in and give it a crank. There's our Hello Sunshine greeting. I did some other die cutting ahead of time. I've got this largest stitched scallop rectangle. This is from the Stitch So Sweetly dies in Whisper White cardstock. Our Flowers for Every Season designer series paper, gorgeous, is 3 5/8 by 2.5. And we're going to adhere that to our stitched rectangle. Center it inside the stitches. And I've got a piece of Magenta Madness cardstock here. This guy is 4.5 by 3 3/8. Don't worry about writing down measurements. I always have a free printable project sheet on the blog, kitchentablestamper.com. You can print off a project sheet with a full color photo, measurements, and supply list. All right, see, we're starting to build that card front. Isn't it gorgeous? This is Poppy Parade cardstock. We're gonna cut ourselves a label to match our Hello Sunshine greeting. This is the Everyday Label Punch. I love how this one just frames the new Tasteful label. Let's go ahead and adhere the label to our card front. And then we'll adhere our greeting with some Stampin' Dimensionals. We want our greeting just a little bit high of center so that we have room for our lemons. All right, let's center that guy on the Everyday Label Punch Out. So cute. Now our card base, let's get that guy back in here. Here we're going to use some Stampin' Seal Plus, a little bit stronger bond. You can also use tear and tape here. And we want to add 2 narrow strips of Stampin' Seal Plus right down the edge of our card. Then we'll center the Magenta Madness so that the stitches in the liner frame the Magenta Madness and so that it's centered right to left. You can burnish that down. And if you've got any adhesive that hangs over, now's your chance to just roll that up. Make sure that doesn't adhere your card close. Be careful to keep the adhesive all the way to the right edge. If you've got any that overflows, you can just roll it away. Okay, no more sticky. Let's get our sample in here and place our lemons. Here's our little cut lemons. I'm gonna grab some multi-purpose liquid glue and add just a dot to the back of the lemon and adhere the leaves. They're gonna go a little sideways to the left on the bottom lemon. Add some multi-purpose liquid glue, and we're gonna tuck the little leaves kind of under the label. And the lemon's actually going to just flow off the edge of the Magenta Madness. It's okay. Then a little multi-purpose liquid glue on top of our lemon. Again, let's add our leaves this time a little bit to the right. And we'll add some dimensionals to the back of our lemon. Pop our little dimensional lemon up on top. Make sure that the leaves don't overflow the greeting. We don't want to cover that up. So cute. Now last, I am a lover of Stampin' Up! Kits. I like to make the cards and send them. I get to enjoy the process of crafting without always having to design. This is also one of the benefits. This is some Magenta Madness and white baker's twine, and it came in the May paper pumpkin kit. There's always some leftover goodies from these kits, and they always have a stamp set that can just keep on giving joy and creativity into the future. So I'm going ahead, I'm using it up. You can use a little linen thread here if you don't have the Magenta Madness baker's twine, or you can use a little bit of the Whisper white baker's twine that just retired from the last catalog for this. Got your tiny little bow. It just needs a tiny little dot of multi-purpose liquid glue on the knot. And we'll pop that right on top of our dimensional lemon. Hello, sunshine. I just love a Stampin' Up! Kit. Coffee and a mystery card. If you've got any questions about either, reach out. Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com is my email address. And to pick up the Simply Citrus kit, the Flowers for Every Season Designer Series paper, the brand new Tasteful Labels dies. To shop Stampin' Up! 24/7, you can buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching.